And we're live, and we're hanging out, and it's Sam and Thomas, and I notice people are chatting in progress. If you want to join, yeah. For some reason, my camera's not working. I think we definitely need to. I need to reboot my computer, but we can get away with screen share. I think for today. Let's go there and ask Thomas how he's doing. How are you doing, Thomas? You all right?
Yeah, a little tired, but yes.
Yeah. How's Gigi doing? Is he better?
Uh, see, I slept on the couch most
Mm,
of the. Yeah, Jessica said that because I have to go up to work, so
sure. Difficult times.
middle of the night. First of all, I was working really late because I was running behind a lot of stuff.
Mm.
So then at 3 or something o'clock in the morning, I just went out to the couch to get a few hours of sleep at least. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm a little bit shaky today.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. How was the dev meeting last night?
Very short and very not productive, unproductive.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, I was running late. Brian started it. He stepped up, of course, as he usually does, and we had a very brief discussion. That we continued that on Slack afterwards, and basically what we said that it's a management issue. We are we're in agreement that with both him and me having full-time jobs,
Yes.
we need to discuss and figure out a way to manage this project because I believe Amy expressed some frustration that not much is happening to in the project, and
Right.
I mean, the level of action in a project is dependent
Mm-hmm.
on how much the project members want to put in, but
Sure.
I do understand that it's a management question. So
Well, there's a in the current model, there's a bottleneck in terms of the project managers need to. I mean, I'm similarly in local support. I'm a bottleneck on things, getting into production.
yes, of course, but having said that, I accept that, and I think it's you're right, but then again, the amount of pull requests and action in website one is not overwhelmingly
Right. Oh, yeah,
large.
that is pretty low at the moment. Yes. Then there's two factors. Yes, and I mean, if there's not, no, when we've had similar periods in local support where there's a lot of pull requests and I'm bottling, there's other periods when there's not so many and I'm not. So yes.
I just want to say that when I hear that, oh, there's not much happening, so I'm thinking about leaving the project.
Uh-huh.
Uh, my reaction is also, apart from being self-critic and seeing that yes, I do not have as much time as I had a few weeks ago or 3 months ago or something
Mm-hmm.
to spend on this project. But I also think that things are going to move forward if the project members are actually putting in.
Yeah, yes, I mean it's interesting. It was just you.
But it is a management question. If we had a manager that has been a project leader that's been on top of things all the time, 24/7, then of course things would be moving forward much faster.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So either we rethink the model of how to lead this project, or we can find somebody else that can be in charge of it or something. I don't know. I mean, it's an important thing. The Website One project is an important platform for the whole community. So I
Right.
don't want to be in a way. If I'm not, if I can't do a good enough job, I don't want to be an obstacle. You know what I mean? I want this project to succeed. So.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. No. And I just a partial word of clarification. So it was just you and Amy and Brian in the meeting last night, and it was specifically Amy who was saying there doesn't seem to be very much going on.
Yes.
It wasn't. Yeah. Yeah. So I think. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, there is. I mean, I think Amy is bringing some really interesting energy, I mean, some good energy into the thing. I think she also has, and I think many people do coming in that they have certain sort of expectations. I think it's well, well, it's one thing because she's in an interesting position as some other people are coming in who haven't necessarily come in through the MOOC route and are maybe in particular need of guidance. I mean, even people who come in through the MOOC or makers are still needs a lot of support. But in order to get started in a project, certain people will need varying degrees of support. So I think she's in a challenging position for herself. I think in some ways, for Amy, she kind of almost needs to do the MOOC or makers or something before she can maybe make progress with that. But no, it's a general issue that I've been. Both you and I and Brian all have full-time jobs now, and yes, I mean there's a I think as we've seen, in many contexts now, as many people like Risa and Marion and John, and people get full-time jobs, and that's fantastic. And we will cheer. It also, it impedes one's ability to really take a very, very, very active role in, the projects, adventures. But yes.
Yes. Well, I on my part personally, I'm trying not to tell people what they should or shouldn't do in terms of commitment. I mean, it's an individual and voluntary thing here. So, and I mean, John, for instance, been gone and starting a new career and a new life in New York, and he's back and working on support right now. So it's like a roller coaster, I guess. Sometimes is bigger than sometimes it's smaller, and then so.
And I think that's what we want. Is I think we, as I've talked about before. I mean, of course, it's difficult to get these things across because it keeps on coming in separate scrums and this that, and the other. But is that it's a volunteer organisation and people can't come and go, and I think that's what we want. It's sort of we want people to be able to kind of to come and go and create an environment. But of course, then I think what a lot of people who are coming in are looking for is they're looking for people to be here kind of full time and on hand.
Oh yeah, sure.
So there's a challenging issue there. I mean, it makes me think of various things that we could get into. I guess I'll just ask, are there anything else that's happening in your world? Anything blocking you and your plans for today? Let's just get those things.
Well, I just need to I need to get this code out. So I'm actually working as we speak.
And that's code for your project, for the job.
Yeah. So I did an interesting thing. I have to when a client signs up for our service, we're using the device for authentication, but I need to log him in just using a token, but because I need to give him access to a set of forms. Since this is a payment gateway, so in order to be compliant with regulations and shit,
yes,
you need to provide some know your customer information, like name of director, some documentations and stuff, And so we don't want to activate his account, to use the system, but we want to, when he signs up with an email,
yes,
I reroute him to a series of forms that he needs to fill in, completely opposite what we're doing in many other projects, because we usually want the sign-up process to be as easy as possible, But in this application, he needs to fill in a lot of information before we can activate him. So, but anyway, in order to do that, I log him in automatically with just using an email, and then reroute him to those forms, and I've everything before he can move forward, And when that's done, I'm setting a flag that all this info is in place, but his account is still restricted. So I log him out and I forbid him to log in again. Until an administrator has reviewed that information. And, so it was quite challenging to So I have to update his records. So yes, you can log in right now. Log him in programmatically. Make him do some stuff and then get out from the system,
Right.
So I was working with that last night, and then writing tests for all that. It was quite complicated.
Yeah.
But it was challenging. It was very interesting. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes. Well, the testing thing. Yes. So, what are your plans looking like for today?
I'm just gonna push this out right now before lunch. And then I'm gonna actually try to get some sleep tonight, around lunchtime. But no, I'll be available to prepare later on if somebody's around.
Okay.
I'm planning to check in with David midday.
Yes.
Basically.
Good show. Yeah. Just doing with me. So yeah, I mean, I pushed out new AV102 and MOOC stuff last night. I was kind of frustrated. I mean, talking about, is that editor welcome? I think we're getting some maybe odd audio feedback from you. I'm just going to mute you and see if that goes away. I don't seem to be able to mute you, editor.
He's muted now, I think.
Yeah. I think we've got a combination of me muting him and then him trying to mute himself. We'll chat to you in a minute, Aditya. But so yeah, I mean the MOOC. I basically, as I mentioned, I'm going through and removing the content, various. I mean, it's frustrating because I think I'm not in a position to provide the great, as good a MOOC service as I would like to do. It's sort of a little bit reduced to just sort of keeping things running. We've got the week 1 materials going live. I was hoping that Mike Smith might be able to look at fixing some of the video and manuscript issues, transcript issues. I think he says he might be able to look at that on Thursday this week. So I mean, if that happens, that's great. I mean, it's frustrating for me to spend an hour kind of not really achieve. I mean, it's the edX framework. It's frustrating. I mean, I had a nice session yesterday where I was just briefly showing Marion and Joseph, what I'm doing with the new kind of course management system that I'm building on top of GitHub for Makers Academy. I mean, I've got Jiao reporting I've got some minor issues with the MOOC. I mean, I guess just to come back to the issues that we were talking about there, Thomas. I mean, I guess one thing I'm thinking is that maybe Agile Ventures in the long run needs to have a paying component, and it needs to have. I think if it wants to achieve the vision of kind of, this sort of critical mass of just people online pairing all the time, and there always being something going on, then it needs to have people who are paid to just like be around and just be greeters and just kind of, I mean, I think it's fantastic that when volunteers contribute to that, but there's a big churn in volunteers and people come and go, and it may need, I think, a payment framework to take it to the next.
You need to be paid, or we need some sort of funding, basically. Yes.
Right. Yes.
Whether we charge for services, which is one way to go, and I support that, or if we can find funding in some other way. Yes.
Yeah.
Or we can do some paid projects that generate much money, or what have you. So.
I mean, the other thing that I think is that maybe at the moment, I mean, I get the feeling at the moment. Oh, we lost Alex. Oh well. I get the feeling at the moment that we maybe have too many scrums than we can support with the current level of activity, and maybe it would be worth consolidating. I mean, I don't know how many people. Like, I guess I feel like I'm not seeing Renee and Sasha and so on. And maybe the thing to do would be to consolidate at like a 2 p.m. UTC. Merge the Euro and Atlantic scrums or something.
That's one idea, Sam. Again, I don't want to repeat myself, but I strongly believe that we need a weekly meeting.
Well, I think that which we have, which is.
But the problem is that the profile of this meeting is a community thing. We had this big weekly scrum before where we talked about projects, and I think that was a good thing. Perhaps I sound very conservative and dreamer to return to good old days, but I think that's a model that works.
Right, but I'm not sure what the new weekly meeting that's necessarily significantly different from the old style. I mean, the point is of having a weekly thing at which.
Well, again, I sense that from my own part, since the profile of this meeting is a little bit more of a community development thing, it's just a soft skills issue thing,
Right.
I'm very interested in that, so I try to attend as much as possible. But if that was a more of a hard skill meeting, like projects and stuff, then I think I will also attend with a different attitude, and I think perhaps that could attract more people. But I'm not sure. It's just a theory. So.
Yes, I think what I'm hoping to have that meeting be more of is more people presenting on the hard stuff that they are doing in their projects, and so it's going to be a lot more about hard skills, but it's going to be a lot more. I think that the reason, like, of course, some people reacted against the longer. I think the big thing is, of course, that scrums take up times, and that's a big issue for people. Yeah, so I guess there's this. I mean, my schedule is that I can't make the weekly meeting tonight, and everything, the client meetings and so on for me are all moving to next week. But I'll be at the weekly meeting next week. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the interesting thing I was mentioning on the local support is I think I now have a complete revision of John's talking of hard things of John's refactoring, and I've kind of done I've basically moved everything that was in his controller spec into a sort of a standalone unit test, and so I've got here kind of like a complete comparison between it. We've got the acceptance test, and we've got the controller spec, and we've got the unit test. And then the unit test, interestingly, ends up with kind of what you might call a mock train wreck, in that it sort of sets up a dummy controller to have the thing mixed in with it. But I'm pleased that I've got some code that's passing and doing the right functionality that I think I can now push up to John as a pull request, and I can probably write an article trying to work out, like, I mean, I think the interesting thing here is it's not clear to me which is the best path, but I think the process of trying to assess that is a good thing. Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe we'll leave it there, and perhaps I will see you in one of the later scrums. Yeah. And we may have to leave, I guess, complex changes in decision making until possibly next week's weekly meeting. But let's see.
Let's see. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff. Well, I hope you get some sleep, Thomas, and I'll speak to you.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you later. Cheers.
All right. Bye for now. Cheers.